Good morning, friends. How are you? Hope you are all safe and healthy. So, today, let us finish our prose section by dealing with the last lesson, Learning from the West by N.R. Narayan Murthy. So, this is the last one that are given under the section of prose. Right? So, the name of the essay is Learning from the West. Actually, it is not written or taken from any book. It is a speech delivered by Narayana Murthy in the year 2001 when he received an award in New Delhi. Okay, let us see our regular thing about the author. So, let's see the important points regarding our writer, regarding our lesson before discuss our prose in detail. See the first one of the greatest Indian industrialists of our time. So, Mr. Narayana Murthy, the title, the first two letters N or stands for Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy. The full name of Mr. Narayana Murthy is Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy, and he is popularly known across India, not only India but also across the globe as Infosys Narayana Murthy. He is popular by his company name, right? So, one of the greatest Indian industrialists of our time, born on 20th August 1946. Still he is alive, so that's why you need to remember his birth date only and no need to think about his death. He is still alive, we are fortunate, right? So, blessed with a brilliant mind, he formed Infosys in 1981 with 10,000 rupees. Do you know that? And that amount is also he has taken from his wife, Mrs. Sudha Murthy. Hope this name is also very familiar when you were studying 10th class. So there was a lesson on her, Sudha Murthy. She was also a famous writer. And see the next one. One of the top IT service company based in India. So, Mr. Narayana Murthy established the company Infosys in the year 1981. So, what is the great thing about it? It is one of the top IT sectors which is providing employment to plenty of infinite number of young people in India. Because many of the software engineers, many of the students who have completed their BTech or BSc computers put a goal to work in Infosys. They just feel proud to work in Infosys and getting high-end salaries. So such a great thing, such a great facilities, such a great salaries the company is providing, and so here many of the students feel proud to work in Infosys, and they generally put a goal to work in Infosys. So to such a great extent the company has emerged, the company has developed. This is because of the hard work, commitment and the dedication of Mr. Narayan Murthy and his team. Right? And see the third point, he has been listed among the greatest entrepreneurs of our time by Fortune magazine. So this is the magazine who listed out the top chairmen who render their services for the development of a country. So according to the Forbes magazine, he has been listed among the greatest entrepreneurs. So here we should know the meaning of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs means who come forward to establish a company by his new ideas. And in those times when computers do not have emerged to not a great extent, he took the decision to start. So that's why, based on the contributions he made to that industry, Fortune magazine selected him one of the greatest entrepreneurs by him. He has been described as the father of Indian IT sector. Mr. Narayan Murthy is said to be the father of Indian IT sector. Remember the point. The father of Indian IT sector. By Times magazine. It is also the title given by the another great magazine, another popular magazine regarding business, Times magazine, due to his contribution to outsourcing services in India. Based on the outsourcing projects the company has done. For example, most of the outsourcing services, the projects regarding the outsourcing services has given to Infosys. He has made number of programs. The company has made number of programs regarding the outsourcing services. So that's why he got such a name. And he has been honored with the Civilian Awards of India, Padma Vibhushan, the second highest civilian award given by Indian government, that is Padma Vibhushan and Padma Shri. So generally there are 4 civilian awards given by Indian government, that is the first one is Bharat Ratna, and the second place comes Padma Vibhushan, and then Padma Bhushan, and the third place that comes Padma Shri. So he was honored with Padma Vibhushan and Padma Shri. So these are the important things we need to remember regarding our orator, we can say, because the lesson is a speech, the great industrialist. Got it? And see what we are going to learn, what he has delivered in his speech, and when did he deliver his speech, on which occasion. Let us see. The present lesson is a speech delivered by him when he received the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence. Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence in Public Administration and Management. Public Administration and Management. So, when did he receive the award? In the year 2001. In the year 2001 at Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management in New Delhi. In which field he was selected for this award? Excellence in Public Administration and Management Sciences. Excellence in Public Administration and Management Sciences. So, which institute has awarded this award? L.B. Shastri Institute of Management in New Delhi. So, who is L.B. Shastri? Lal Bahadur Shastri. I wrote in short form. The full name is Lal Bahadur Shastri, who is one of our former prime ministers and great statesmen. Right? So, here the speeches delivered by Narayana Murthy was published as a collection of poems, as published as a book with the title A Better India and a Better World. A Better India and a Better World. The speeches, the collection of speeches delivered by Narayana Murthy as published as the title of the book with the title A Better India, A Better World. It is not a book written by Narayana Murthy directly, but it is a collection of his speeches. So remember the name of the book, A Better India and Better World. So what he says, what he delivers in his speech, particularly he talks about the traits, the things, the character features we need to learn from the Western people, from the Western culture. So, what are the traits Indians should learn from the West? He is going to discuss this, and he propounds the idea of community behavior first. He propounds the idea of community behavior in the West, and he contrasts and compares the phenomena in Europe with the life that he has been observing. Since his childhood. So what he is going to say, particularly he talks about the community behavior in the West and what are the things we need to learn from the West, and he contrasts and compares our qualities with the Western people. what he has been observing since his childhood. So these are the things he going to discuss in his speech. He discussed in his speech. And the points I will tell you in a brief manner. What are the traits we need to learn from the West are? The first thing is accountability and the dignity of labor, professionalism in dealings, corruption-free society, and respect for public good, and respect to contractual obligations. So these are the main traits, these are the main qualities, these are the things we need to learn. These are the things we need to learn from the Western people as suggested by our great industrialist Mr. Nagavara Ramarao Narayanamurthy, who came from a small village from Karnataka state, and came from a middle class family from the Karnataka state, Chikkaballapur district, Karnataka. So that is his background. So here we need to remember the points he discussed, the traits, the qualities we need to learn from the Western people is dignity of labor, accountability, respect for public good, respect to contractual obligations, and corruption free, and the last but not the least, punctuality. So these are the main things, these are the main traits Mr. Narayanamurthy suggests Indians to learn from the Western people. So don't think in negative manner. If we have a doubt, you may have a doubt that do the Indians have good qualities? Why should we learn? Because we generally hear that Indian culture is the best culture in the world, and the qualities of Indians are best among the world. We generally argue with the people that other will learn from us. Of course, yes. He is also saying the same thing. These are the qualities that are rooted in Indian culture, but not now, in olden days. He says, I am from the same age where you are living. I belong to the same duration where you belong to. So what he has been observing is the greatest Indian values were once practiced by our forefathers before generation, Esther generation, is not followed now. And those good qualities are following by the Western people now. And that is his observation. That's why he is advising us, we need to learn the traits of punctuality, dignity of labor, accountability, respect for public good, and all these things. So let's see how he discussed these qualities in detailed manner by making great sayings by the legends, great sayings by the great writers. And he quoted so many quotations from Gandhiji, Winston Churchill, Eisenhower, Rudyard Kipling. So these are the people he quotes to elevate the points. So let's discuss in detail the traits what Indians should learn from the West according to our writer Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy. Okay, as we said, let us discuss the main points, the lessons what we should learn from the Western people. And here is the first thing. In the beginning of the essay, Mr. Narayan Murthy discussed about the community behavior. He did not go to the list directly. Before going to start his main speech, he talks about the community behavior. So he gave a list of lessons that we should learn from the West. He started with the community behavior. Here, we should know the meaning of what is community. The word community is derived from the two Latin words. It is a joint word of two Latin words. One is cum, that means together or with, and the second Latin word is unus, U-N-U-S, that means one. So these two words form the entire word community. Why we are saying the meaning of the word in detail? Because the meaning of the word community is in the word itself. Come together. So a community is a place where group of people live together, come together. This is what he wants to express. It is a unified multitude and not a group of people. So generally people take what is community is a group of people. But according to Narayana Murthy, a community is not merely a group of people, it is a unified multitude. Unified multitude means a large number of people. A large number of people, not only a few people. I mean, 100 or 200 families are living in a society is not a community. According to him, it is a unified multitude. So, in order to explain the community in detail, he takes the quotation from Vedas. He takes the quotation from Vedas, that is, man can live individually but can survive only collectively. Man can live individually but can survive only collectively. So this is what Vedas teaches us. What Vedas teach us. We can earn food, we can eat food alone, but without social interactions, we may not survive. We may not survive. That is what Vedas said. And the great philosophers also said man is a social animal. The great philosopher Aristotle said man is a social animal. Without society, a man cannot live. Here he wants to say another thing. He takes his speech to the next level by expressing values. Discuss about values. A set of values helps an individual or an organization to progress. So values of sound helps us to progress. Values of sound. So here what he means here is a person should adopt certain values to develop himself. So based on such kind of values, he makes his company bigger. He directly said the company Infosys is running with sound values. So that's why he gives importance to values. So a value-based society, an Indian society needs. A value-based society we should need, according to him. Here, he talks about the family values and value system. Here, we should accept modest sacrifices for the common good. We generally think about ourselves and our family and our relatives only. But here, the same attitude should be shown by the people towards the society for the maximum number of people. We should work for the help of welfare for the maximum number of people. That is what Mr. Narayan Murthy wants from Indian society. And while saying about value system, he quotes something here. It is a protocol for behavior. What is the protocol for behavior? It means values. Values is a protocol. What is the meaning of protocol here? Protocol mean an official order. An official order. When we conduct a meeting, while we inviting the guests, while we plan a program according to a plan, we just give the priority to the higher official and follows the next. His subordinates are his officers working under him. So that is what protocol. So that is what is the main thing here is values is the protocol for behavior that enhances, that means increases the trust, confidence and commitment of members of the community. So a society which has sound values will be enhances the trust, confidence and commitment of members of the community, and such kind of society is honored. Such kind of society is honored there. So mark these two lines as the first annotation that is given in the third paragraph in your textbook. It is the first annotation. What is the annotation here? It is the protocol for behavior that enhances the trust, commitment and confidence of members of the community. So while he discussed the value system, he quotes this particular lines. And it cannot be implemented by law. What cannot be implemented by law? Value system. Value system cannot be implemented by law. We can't force someone to follow these values because it's based on the individual. That's why we cannot implement the value system by enforcing by a law. And it is a desired quality. It is a desired quality. That means he wanted such kind of values. He wants to see such kind of values among the people who lives together as a community. That is what he talks about the value system. And further, if you take further points regarding the value system, the loyalty to family and loyalty to the community. Indians generally give first priority to the family, but they give least preference to the community. Here, writer wants us to show towards the same behavior towards the same loyalty towards the family what we are showing should be also applied towards the society. That is what he wants from Indians. So that's why he put the title Learning from the West. Learning from the West, because the company Infosys is still running on the basis of values. That's why he selected the topic as learning from the West. Here, don't think West means Western country or from Western people. We are not talking about any direction like East, West, North, South. Okay, let's move on to the further topic, family values. Here, he talks about family values. He talks about the culture regarding our family. Culture of Indian. Here he is talking about the Indian culture. What he talks about? Parents generally make enormous sacrifices for the children, and they support their children until they stand on their own feet, and the children are supported by the family until they grow. The age doesn't matter here. The age doesn't matter here, and the same responsibility is also taken by the children when their parents will be aged. They feel their responsibility to take care of them. So here, parents make enormous sacrifices for the life of the children, and when they get aged, here children take responsibility to take care of their family members, and an elder brother is respected. An elder brother is respected by the other siblings. And these are the values we generally see our Indian family system. And this is the Indian family culture. This is the Indian family culture. But unfortunately, this attitude is not reflected towards the society. Towards the society. Come to the marriage, we do the marriage, we take the marriage as a sacred one, as a holy one. And we make so many vows to the life partner. But when we make promises to the society, we generally do not care about them. So here, Mr. Narayan Murthy wants us to show the same attitude what we are showing towards our family should be reflected towards the society. This is what he wants us. So this is the key strength of Indian culture. So while he discusses the family system, he quotes another example. That is, unfortunately, our attitude towards family is not reflected in our attitude towards community behavior. And this is the second annotation you can mark in your textbook. So these are the lines you should mark in your textbook that are given in the 5th paragraph. So what he talks about, the attitude towards family behavior is not reflected our attitude towards society. Though we have a great family culture and great responsibilities we perform in our family, is not showing towards our society. That is what he said about. And from here he starts the lessons what we can learn from the Western culture or the Western people. So as I said, he advises us to learn. Why he advises all these things to learn from the Western society only? Though we have such kind of a great kind of culture that is rooted in our system, that means Indian system. He says, I am not belong to any bygone era. So here the word bygone means related to the past, not from very long. He lives in the same 21st century like us, but though he born in the year 1946. And when he get knowledge, when he was matured through mentally, he started observing what are the great things is done in the Western culture. So that's why he advises to learn those values from them. He said these are the values Indians have already followed in olden days, but not in the present generation. That's why. These values are followed, he has seen in the Western society only. That's why he advises to adopt the qualities. The first lesson we should learn from the West is respect for public good. Here he talks about how Indians treat the public goods. We just litter the wastage. We never hesitate to unclean the public places. When we go to park, we never hesitate to throw the paper or a material what we have eaten at the place very carelessly. Though there are many dustbins and are written use me, we never follow them. So we are free to throw our wastage on the roads publicly. So that is what we are giving, the respect we are giving for the public goods. But in Western culture, they treat the public goods as their own. As their own means they don't take away the benches and the lights which are established in the park to their home. They just treat them as their own. So that's why here we should be very dignified while we using the public goods. See here he made another example that how we treat public toilets. So we see graffiti there. We see graffiti. Graffiti means the art of writing on walls. The art of writing on walls. We don't need to give the example of public toilets. If you see the toilets in colleges or schools, particularly colleges, see so many artists and poets shows their talent by writing on the walls of the toilets. Of course, sometimes they seems vulgar, and that is the way we treat the public goods. We never take any responsibility while treating them. So here the attitude what we show towards public goods should be changed. How the Western treats the public goods. This is what the first lesson he wants us to learn. And come to the second one. If you see the second one, Western society is a corruption-free one. If you talk about the corruption, it has deeply rooted in Indian society. Wherever you go, the corruption follows like. So we see the corruption particularly government offices, as we generally hear and see in movies and in news channels also. But in Western country, they try to maximum corruption free. Because from this experience, he said, it is very difficult to bribe a police to avoid a speeding ticket. But here, we, the Indians, never follow the traffic rules. If we caught by a policeman by breaking the traffic rules, we just try to put 100 rupees note in the hands of him, and he always ready to take it. So such kind of scenes we generally see. In such an extent, the corruption is rooted in Indian society. So in this place, we should learn from the Western culture how to avoid bribing officials. Because of the bribing officials, we are losing a quality of life. Here politicians try to bribe the officials and build a low quality roads and a low quality bridges. That's why we are having problems. Our bridges and roads are not stand for so long. They work for so long. When a downpour, when there is a heavy rain, we can see lots and lots of potholes on the roads because of the low quality. Why this happen means there is a corruption behind the officials and engineers, whoever the work has done. So the second lesson we need to learn from the Western culture is our society should be a corruption-free society. Okay. Here he gave the examples of cheating, bribery, tax evasion. These are all the problems we have been facing under the name of corruption. So tax evasion is a common thing in India nowadays. So he quoted an example. Once a politician has declared that he forgot to file his tax returns for 10 consecutive years. He directly declared through the newspapers that he forgot to file tax evasion, file his income tax returns for 10 years. For 10 years. So what a corrupted fellow is, and directly he accepted it to such an extent, the corruption is rooted, the irresponsibility. Though he is a representative of so many people, he's a public representative, but what he wants to say to the society by such actions. So that's why he suggested to learn how should we free from the corruption. That is what he said. And he quoted another example also, apathy towards community or apathy towards communal matters. That means apathy in the sense showing no interest in something, and indifferent thinking towards something, We generally see serious problems around us, but we never try to solve them. Because we feel that is someone's responsibility, not ours. Because we use it to work and we use to get the instructions. Though we have solutions for the problems, we never exhibit it because we have been adapting a quality that it is someone's responsibility, it is someone's duty. We sometimes even put forward those problems to the higher authorities or the people concerned. But we are ready to make comments and we are ready to criticize the society through the social media or through the newspapers. So that is the behavior Indians adopting. That's why he wants to change such kind of attitudes towards society. So he asks us to feel the society is also your own house. The people who are living in that society also your members of your family. Then only we can build a great society that will be an inspiration to the global. So this is about what he said about corruption-free society and apathy towards the communal matters. So he gives another example of an irrigation project. It is an irrigation expert, Mr. K.L. Rao, who is very well known to our writer Narayana Murthy, and once he suggested for the solution for irrigation problem, and he suggested that there is a plan to, he made a plan to connect the entire rivers in order to control the drought. And he made this plan 40 years ago. But still, though it is a great plan, still it is not implemented because of our irresponsible behavior. So ours in the sense, the politicians and the officials concerned, they do not take it seriously. So there are many kinds of huge problems like this because of, are not solved because of corruption, because of our apathy towards society, our apathy towards community. We are very irresponsible, though we have solutions. So that's why please make a positive attitude towards society. This is what he talks about in the second point. And while taking this point in a further way, he quotes the Thomas Hunter's quotation, that is, idleness travels very slowly and poverty soon overtakes. Idleness travels very slowly and poverty soon overtakes. Idleness means inactive, sitting at one place for a long time without doing anything. So that is called idleness. Okay, with this idleness, the things will be done very, very slowly. But soon the poverty overtakes it. If you delay things that are responsible for the development, will be responsible for the poverty also. It brings poverty. If you delay the things that will help the development, the result of the delaying is poverty. That is what Thomas Hunter, a famous writer, says. And come to the fourth lesson. Here, Mr. Murthy advises us to learn is dignity of labor. Dignity of labor. Here, dignity of labor means in Western people, they are proud of what they are doing. Whether it is a menial job, whether it is a great job, they never think about the dignity. So they just feel proud of what they are doing, and they just feel responsible for their work. But here in India, the intellectual wisdom, the professionals are only given the importance. If there are so many talented people in other sectors, we never recognize them. We just recognize the professionals only. We just recognize the people who got the job and who are sitting in the official seat only. So that's why the talented people are suppressed. So that's what here he advises to improvise our intellectual wisdom. Just improve the dignity of labor. So respect the talented people, not only professionals but also unprofessionals also. And that is what he said in the dignity of labor. And the next point, the next thing what we have learned is accountability. Come to the point accountability. Accountability means answerable. We are seeing how we are answerable by our politicians. In India, whenever you are more important and you are less answerable. When you are more important, you are less answerable. Take the examples of politicians. They come to our houses. They come to our houses when they want votes from us. After that, in the duration of 5 years, they won't come again. Till their duration is completed, they won't come again. So such a responsibility is shown by the politicians. That is what accountability. But in Westerns, they just respect the general public when they come to them with any problem. They just respect them and try to solve them. But here in India, we never accountable for what we are doing. We are very irresponsible and we are lack of accountability. So that is what the lesson we need to learn from the society, Western society especially. And come to the next point, professionalism in dealings. Through this point, here Mr. Narayan Murthy wants us to learn from the Westerners, that is, they just encourage the meritocracy. They first give the priority to their work. They never hesitate to rebuke the employee, rebuke a colleague if he is unable to do something or if he is incompetent in doing matter. Though the particular colleague is their personal friend. But here, come to the Indian society, we just give priority to our relatives, our community, the caste system particularly. We just give priority to the caste and creed. But there, they just give priority to the talent. They just try to give the priority to talent only. So here, they prefer meritocracy. So meritocracy in the sense, the word meritocracy refers is a country or a society where people get money or position based on his abilities. Based on his abilities. But in India, that is not happen. Generally, many people get the highest positions not because of their talent, but because of their community to which the manager or the higher person who belongs to that company. So they are very professional dealing those matters. But here we are not, we are completely unprofessional. So Indian should change this quality. Indian should change this kind of attitude. We just encourage meritocracy. We just encourage meritocracy. And come to the next point, punctuality. Point number 6 we need to take here is punctuality. The sixth lesson we need to learn from the Western society is punctuality. Here punctuality in the sense, come to an institute or office on time. It is better to come in time also. But here Indians are unpunctual. They never follow the time. He always delays in doing matters. So here the writer suggested to learn punctuality, to start the thing, to make the plan in time and execute it in time. So we just give the preference to the punctuality. That is what he wants us to learn from the Western society. And come to the last one, respect to contract obligations. Respect to contractual obligations. Here he quotes an example that Mr. Narayan Murthy encourages and supports many students who wants to go for further studies to foreign or other countries. He recommends the students for national scholarship to continue their further studies or higher studies in. Before going them, they need to make an agreement. They need to make an agreement. That is, when their degree was completed, they will come to their own place and work for 5 years. So this is what is written on the agreement. But it doesn't happen. It didn't happen with the case of many students. They just go to the foreign countries by using the national scholarship because of the recommendation of our lesson Narayan Murthy, and passed out with flying colors. The flying colors mean with highest marks, and land in lucrative job. So here the word lucrative means highest paid salary. An employee who got highest salary by his work. So they completed their degree with great marks, good percentage, and land in lucrative jobs, but they don't want to come to India to work for even 5 years. So here the contract is broken, the promise is broken. According to Narayan Murthy, he quoted a survey from a famous university in US. The students who take the educational loans to complete their studies, reluctant to pay the loans after they getting good jobs in the society. Because of this irresponsible behavior of many students, the next generation students are difficult to get scholarships and difficult to get seats in famous universities. So that's why Mr. Narayan Murthy wants us to learn, wants us to change this kind of attitude. Be responsible in regarding the contracts we made. In Western society, they give the maximum priority to the contracts what they made. They never try to break them. They just stand by it. But come to the case of Indians, it is not happening. The things what we are doing for our selfish purposes will affect the next lives, will affect your next generation. So that's why he asks us to change our attitudes, and he gives the list of these lessons to change our attitude towards society, and in order to improve ourselves and in order to put India as a global country, to put India as an inspiration through our behavior. And he quotes many examples like Gandhiji. He quotes, our Indian society is completely filled with the cheating, bribery, greediness, lack of confidence in themselves and lack of confidence in society. We should avoid these things. So while explaining this point, he quoted Gandhi's words, that is, there is enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. There is enough for everyone's need but not enough for everyone's greed. This is the famous quotation by our father of the nation, Gandhiji. Here he mentions, while he listing out the lessons. And he also quotes another example, another quotation given by Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, he said, responsibility is the price of greatness. Responsibility is the price of greatness. Who gave this quotation? Winston Churchill. So, who is the great Prime Minister of England at the time of Second World War? At the time of Second World War. So, finally, he concludes his speech by saying that he asks the Indians to change their attitude and be an inspiration to the next generation by adopting these qualities like accountability, punctuality, corruption-free, respect for public good, and respect to contractual obligations. So these are the lessons we need to learn in order to change our attitude and in order to put our India as a great nation and as a global nation. So finally he says that every Indian should work for the welfare of the maximum people, in India. So this is what Mr. Narayan Murthy told us through his speech. So there are 4 annotations given at the end of the textbook. Just go through the summary again. You can understand these points and prepare the questions also. And both questions and annotations have same answers, but the pattern of answering is different, as you know, and prepare them well. So thank you for watching.